Okay, so Microsoft Startup Task. So as you know, Microsoft Startup is also you have to understand if you need to maintain the forensic, because you need to understand what will happen to the data which is stored in the disk when you start. Okay, so and what files are accessed when the Windows starts. So generally, any NTFS will do the following steps, and that is being done in the startup task in your Microsoft also. So you have something called the post, that is power on self-test. You know that whenever we switch on the system, it does a self-test. Then there's an initial startup, boot is being loaded. Then you have hardware detection and configuration. Then you have the kernel loading on, then the user logging on. So we let us see a few different Microsoft operating systems and how they use the startup task. So if you go on to this boot process of the Windows Vista, it has the BIOS. Along with that, it has this extendable firmware interface. So this is going to provide you better protection because it has the protection against the malware. Okay, so the inclusion is this EFI, and it has the basic of protecting against malware. And there is one more tool that is called the BCD, which is nothing but if you want to modify the boot options, you can go ahead with the boot configuration data. Okay. Then there are three utilities used in the boot. So one is your boot mgr.exe. The other one is winload.exe. The other one is winresume.exe. So what is the first exe file going to do? It's going to allow multiple booting. Okay, multiple booting is going to be allowed in the first utility. The second one is your Windows Loader exe file. So this Windows Loader is going to install the kernel, generally the kernel installation, and also the abstraction layer. There's a layer called abstraction. In the kernel, there are some few layers. You would have studied about it in your operating system. So there is an abstraction layer also. So this win load exe file is going to load all these things with the boot drivers. Then you also have another exe file, which is your win resume. So this tool or this one exe file, it will restart after an hibernation. What is hibernation? Sometimes our system is going to go into sleep mode, right? We put the system into sleep mode. Most of the times nowadays, we don't shut down the system. We just close it. It goes into sleep mode. So that sleep mode is called hibernation mode. So once you open your laptop, it should restart, right? Restart from the place where you have shut it down. How does that is happening? That is because of this exe file. So this helps in restarting the vistas, specifically in the when it goes into the hibernation mode. So this is about the startup in Windows Vista. And next, if we go on to the Windows XP, so Windows XP, generally it is there in the root folder, and there is something called NT loader, which is going to load the operating system. Then it reads all that whatever you load it inside, it will be reading one by one. So you also have this boot.ini, that is the initialization file for the booting. And then it will read all this. HAL is nothing but the abstraction layer. So all this configuration files are being read one by one once the file is loaded into the NT loader. So what is this boot.ini? It's an important execution file or configuration file. And it will generally give you the XP path installation. Okay, it is generally going to give the XP path installation, and it will have all the options for selecting the windows. Okay, whatever options are required, it will have more features also to include for the booting. So once the boot selection is done, then this NTLDR, what is the full form for NTLDR? You can See in this, it is network loader. Okay, so that NTLDR means network loader. So that will all the boot installations after the configuration is done, it will be passed on to this network loader file. Okay, so that is the XP part. And if you go on to more details about the XP, it's nothing but what are the few components that are allowed. So you have CMOS time and date value. One second. Still not lock the room because some of them are joining now. Please tell your friends to log in quickly. I'll repeat the session again for them. Okay, so you have few components. It's nothing but the CMOS time and date value that we already saw in previous classes. Then what are the buses that are attached to the motherboard? Then what is the peripheral component used? And what are the disk drives that are used here? What are the parallel ports that are connected to the system? All these things are going to be a part of this operating system of the XP. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just repeat this XP once more. No, about from Windows Vistas. So actually, Microsoft Startup Task is going to tell you or talk about the different Windows operating system that is going to be doing the booting process. Each has its own process. So see, there is in the first in Vista, it's going to use EFI along with the booting process. Why they are going for EFI is it helps in the protection against most of the malwares. Then you have an extra tool that is called the BCD that is also going to modify the booting operations. Then there are three main utilities that is used. One is the boot MGR, WinLoad EXE and WinResume. Each has specific functionalities. For example, the first utility, it allows multiple operating system to boot at the same time. For example, Vista can be done along with XP. When this case happens is when you use some virtual machines. Okay. Then Windows Vista, it also installs the kernel and it loads all the boot drivers. Then WinResume, after the sleep mode, when you want to restart, this exe file is initiated to do the process. So in XP, if you go, there is something called a network folder that is going to load all the operating system files. Okay. And these are the components that are specific for Windows XP. So we'll move on to the next one that is nothing but the Microsoft Windows 9X. So 9X is the different operating systems in Windows that was generated from 1995 to 2000. Why we are learning about these old systems is, see, when we do an investigation, we must know all the systems. Okay, all the systems. For example, if a person is using Windows 2000 or is using a very old system, then you must be able to even investigate on that old system and try to get the data from that system. So how will you know to handle that system if you do not know the configuration of the old system? Okay, so that is why computer forensics has brought in this starting up to be learned by us in all the systems starting from 1995, even older versions. You need to understand, you need to know a knowledge about the configuration of the operating system and configuration of the entire system. Then only you can do the forensics study in any system. Okay, so this is 9X. So 9X is generally between 1995 to 2000, most of the Windows, whatever they used. Okay, so 9X generally it has two operating systems, two modes in the operating system. One is the DPMI, which is nothing but the DOS protected mode interface. Then you have protected mode GUI. It will serve the same purpose as the config. So whatever configuration of the files you're doing in the DOS, that it will do it in this protected mode. Okay. Then the input output.sys file, it will communicate between the computer's BIOS, the hardware, and the operating system. So what is this ios.system file? It's nothing but the input file. So generally, any operating system will have configuration files, and the main thing it will have is the io.system file. Okay. So the io.system file is generally it is in the operating system, which communicates between the BIOS and the hardware. Okay, the BIOS and the hardware or the kernel. So that is a main plus point of using the IO.system. So now this IO.system, it happens in 9x is when you press F9, this IO.system is started. Okay, so when you press F8, sorry, not F9, F8, when you press it, this IO.system will actually load into the Windows. Okay, and it will load into the startup process, which is your booting process. So in the older system, F8 is used to initiate the startup process, and it will run it in the safe mode. I think if you would have seen, when I studied, we have seen this. When we press F8, we go back to the safe mode. Even if you have an old desktop in your house, if it is not upgraded, just try to see, go to the, after you switch on your system, you get a black screen, right? So that is the booting and installation of the configuration files. In that, it will, if you press F8, it will take you to the safe. It will ask you whether you want to open the windows in safe mode. If I can, I'll just get a picture of it and show it to you in next class. So what are the basic startup options in this Windows 9X? For example, if you go to Windows 98, which is an old one, you have this normal. You'll have a normal means it will go to the operating system directly. Then it will be logged. That is, you are logging using the Linux or whatever operating system. Then safe mode. That is what I told you just previously. If you have any problems in booting, you can start in the safe mode. Then the fourth one is, it is also step-by-step confirmation. It will ask you, the Windows 98 older one. And the fifth, you want to go use only the command prompt. If any problem is there in the Windows, you don't want, if there is a virus in the Windows, but still you can use the command prompt, and that will take you to the DOS Windows. Okay, and you also have safe mode in the command prompt. So this will be like where you can see this menu is, as soon as you switch on your system, the black screen will come, right, in the older systems. I'm talking about the older systems, very old ones, Windows 98. So in that, all these options will come immediately. So if you press one, it will directly go to your Windows. Suppose if your Windows operating system is having a virus, then you can press 3, it will go to safe mode. If it has more virus, you can go directly to press 5, and you can go open the command prompt, and from that you can run your, if you want to do some backup before doing a complete recovery of the data, you can do it before completely you delete all the files. So that can be done. So this one, what you do is you can go to if you are not at all aware of this, if you are not at all seen a Windows 98, my suggestion is you can just go on to this YouTube and just check out this Windows 98, how the screen is, how it operates. Because when I was studying in my college, first year, second year, third year, long time ago, long time ago, this was the way it will look. The first page of, before going into the operating system, this is the page that will look to us, and we will be doing that. Even I had a system in my house, and we had this virus. Our desktop will, when we on the system, I mean when we went into the Windows operating system, same name will be repeated in the entire screen. Okay, one name, something virus locker or something, entire screen. So I can't even see the screen. So then I had to again shut down the system, and I had to restart it in the safe mode. In the safe mode, I was able to just see my screen, but I was not able to access it. So then when we called the technical person, he recovered our data by going into the safe mode through the command prompt. So that is how I'm able to relate that now. But you might not have that experience, so you can go through YouTube and get some information of the old systems. So there is a file called command.com in your DOS, okay, in the old systems, Linux systems. So there you have, usually there is limited number of commands only for MS-DOS. So they are all built in into this command.com. Okay, so it will be described in the next slide. Yeah, this slide. So there are about 15 different commands that is used inside the command file. So the first one is your DR. So I just want you to read, I'll just give you some time. Just read it one by one by yourself, and you can understand it. There's nothing very difficult about it. It's all the DOS commands. So just take few minutes and read what is there in the screen. Okay. So this is the practice quiz that I've informed already. I think Nikita should have sent you this. So I want each and every one of you to answer this question. Okay, it's just one line answer or two lines probably maximum. So it's a 2 mark answer. So I want you to write about it and take a pic of it in an A4 sheet. Take a pic of it and send it to the same folder where I asked you to place the assignments. So this will be done by the entire class A and B, irrespective of whether you're writing the assignment or not, because this is with respect to your final exams. Okay, these questions are from all the 5 units. And assignments, all the others have to, those are having the booklets have to submit the assignments compulsorily to that folder. Those who don't have, we will just look into that again. Anyway, you start writing this practice quiz and sending me. So we can take a validation of both when it is required. Then, yeah, this is, I just want you to just read only the title. Some of you would have seen this in your uh, WhatsApp or something. Just read this only the titles. So with this, we'll be closing the class for today. Just taking on attendance.